First of all, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. It's a blessing. Very appreciative of the whole community and what you guys put together here. So I really also appreciate you guys to be open-minded, to check out what we guys do. And as you guys already saw, basically on the flyer, we're gonna talk about the business of the future, right? Today, it's not so much about me. Just very, very quickly, briefly, as already said, was already introduced, my name is Miguel. Study law, like they accepted me, right? And I don't know if you ever had that, but for me, it was difficult to get into university. And I was so focused on just getting into it, but I never thought about what am I gonna do if I get accepted, right? And I'm like, okay, now I got accepted, now I need to find a job, I need to find a way to pay all the bills and pay the fees and stuff, because my parents couldn't help me with that. I come from a simple family, single mom, 3 jobs, working 24/7 to provide for me and my sister. I don't wanna say we had like a bad upbringing, we had everything that we needed, like love and respect, and my mom taught me everything about that. But at the end of the day, or at the end of the month, we always had more days left than money, right? So money was always a thing. And I decided for me when I was younger that I want to understand how money works, right? That's also why I started to, wanting to learn about trading and investing, how to get into these markets to build up like a safe financial future for myself, support my parents. I saw like how my parents dealt, or like how they were dealing with the stress of not having money and always think about how to pay rent and stuff like that. I saw the effects of that, and I just wanted them to be like more in a safer space, right? And obviously also growing up with my sister and my mom, I felt like I need to step up my game because I'm like the man of the family and I need to, find solutions for that. And obviously, solution for me was finance, as I just said. I again, went first to university, same time I was starting to build the business when I was first time introduced into basically the trading world combined with affiliate marketing, right? Back then it was a perfect entry for me. Why? Because of the price. Because as I told you, I found these other courses out there and you have to go 6-7 years back, right? I'm not talking about today where YouTube is full of trading education and YouTubers and courses. 7 years back, there was basically nothing, right? So I was very, very lucky to be introduced into this company where you can learn trading for a couple of $100 a month. And it was also new that you guys need to understand that when we started this in South Germany, where I originally grew up in South Germany, that people thought like we are inventing like a new atom bomb or something. Like they were so like, what is this? Like no one was like open to this, right? It was like, I don't know, like this escape the matrix stuff that nowadays everyone talks about, right? Everyone talks about business of the future. Everyone talks about artificial intelligence, about YouTube, building online businesses, right? Who here tried to build his own YouTube channel? Is there someone that wanted to become a YouTuber or like social media or something, an agency, anything online, a business and all? Like, is there someone that does online business or something like that? No one? Okay. So most of the people back then, and still nowadays, it's like big, but not many people are involved yet. But I think many people understood, or you guys understood, that there's opportunities in that space, right? There's opportunities to get into the space of social media, how to build, your business while traveling, and how to live a free lifestyle. Because I still remember back then when Instagram became pretty big, I still remember seeing people partying on the yacht. I saw people like having a nice and fun lifestyle because I come from a place where there is wealth, like South Germany, right? But I come more from a place that's like called Lake of Constance. It's more like where retired people are, right? So there's nothing really happening. It's like very slow, nothing really happening. And I didn't, Instagram gave me like this, for the first time I saw like, what the fuck is happening in the world, okay? And excuse my English, but it was like so crazy, okay? So I saw these people living this lifestyle and I always asked myself the question, what is the difference, Why are there some people that can travel, are financially free, they can take care of their parents, they have this nice lifestyle, luxury and all this kind of stuff, right? And for me, then entering into this online space and business at the same time, and I'm opening a lot of like pathways right now, and I'm gonna combine everything at the end of the day. Some of you guys might think like, where is he going with this? But I'm just like opening a lot and then just combining at the end of the day so you understand how I got into this and how all of this was started. And then obviously we're gonna give you the real sauce. Like that's why you guys are here. You wanna find out what's in it for me, right? Everyone here sitting is like, what's in it for me? Why am I here? And obviously we're gonna give you guys this answer, right? But before that, I just wanna open your mind a little bit and make you understand how I got into this and how this may be, just maybe, because it depends on your work ethic, it depends on if you think this could be something for you, could at the end of the day change the life or your life as it changed my life or lives of many other people, right? Because nowadays this community became the largest community in Europe and we are expanding heavily internationally. right? And in Australia, obviously too. But yeah, so from that, from the beginning, where we started to build this business in coffee shops, people like not being very, kind of being interested, but being very suspicious about like the online space and trading and investing, until today where, as I said, we are the largest trading community in Europe, and more people are getting into the online space and finding out how all of this works. Now, when you get into this online space, as I tried to get into trading back then, it is mostly very expensive. It starts with very expensive courses, a lot of promises, and yeah, to be quite frankly, there's a lot of bullshit out there, right? I tried out a lot of stuff. Every time I speak to someone that, joins us, most of them tell us, hey, I tried this, I tried that, I got like scammed over here, and I joined this community, but I don't understand it. So many people are still not finding like a red line on how to really become an online entrepreneur, a trader, an investor. And the thing is, what you guys need to understand is, this business here is not, the main intent is not only for you guys to do it full-time, right? We have so many people that just do it part-time. When I started to do it was part-time, right? As I just said, I started into university, was building this business, and with the business, right, learning about trading, investing, doing the affiliate site, I kind of financed my own law studies, okay? After this really took off, and we started to build this basically in shisha bars or coffee shops, right, where I come from. There's a lot of Arabs. I grew up with a lot of Arabs, very, very nice people. And there's like only shisha bars, right? So in South Germany, there's like no, like just shisha bars. So we were sitting in the shisha bar 24/7, basically. I was living there. The owner of the shisha bar, the coffee shop, he wanted to give me the key and said like, you are here anyways every day, like just keep the key. And we built our business in the shisha place, right? So basically people walked in, we taught them about the course, about trading, what we do, how we do it. They were amazed, joined, and brought some friends, right? We started with one person, and then a month later it was 10 people, and it was 30, 100, 120, and one day we filled out the whole coffee shop with like over 120 people. People were standing outside, and keep in mind that's like in a countryside, like kind of village thing with like 10 to 16,000 people is where we started, right? So then we saw it blew off and complete, like in Germany, then Switzerland, Austria, then Portugal, then Latvia, then somehow it came to Australia, right? So a lot of countries that we nowadays teach and educate on this specific space of trading and investing. But the most important thing that we give you guys, and later is going to be more about how it really works, is that you have a red line that you can follow. Again, right? Because all of the space is very confusing. There's a lot of promises. There's a lot of difficulties to get into it. But that's what we teach you about, okay? Now, another thing, and that's why I'm here and why I'm speaking today as the founder, is not to give you the information on how to do it. We'll have speakers to educate you on that. But again, I want to prime you a little bit. I want to make you understand why does this make sense, because I've always been someone that always focused, like I live a lot in the present. I enjoy life right now, but I've always been looking a lot into the future. What are the trends? What are people doing? Because I believe it's so important to understand where the world is going, because nowadays we are not in the age of information anymore. We are not in the age of cavemen, right? We are not in the age where the strongest wins. We are not in the age anymore where you are born into a hierarchy, right? We are in the age of where you need to adapt to what is happening in the world, since the world is moving so fast, right? We saw the pandemic, we saw like the online space moving, more and more people working online. Now it's moving back to offline, right? Because people see like all of this remote work is not really working, kinda. So it's like a lot of changes. Then we have cryptocurrencies, we have artificial intelligence, we have wars all over the world, right? I know you Australians, you're like a little more like reserved. You have your part of the world, right? I'm not gonna say you're not interested in that, because that would not be the case. I'm not saying that you guys are ignorant or anything, but I know like you have your own like spot and you do your thing, but still you guys know what is happening, right? And for me, even like being in the middle of like, I live in the Middle East now in Dubai with Palestine and Israel, and then you have Ukraine and Russia, and a lot of stuff is just happening, right? Which I have never thought like would happen in my lifetime. I always thought like that's my grandparents, like the wars and all this kind of stuff. So a lot is happening, okay? And I believe like in these times where a lot of stuff is happening, especially financially, where we're like migrating from a fixed financial system, which is mainly like physical money, and semi-digital, like where we have like banks and credit cards, but moving entirely into like more into a future kind of setup of finance, where finance intends to control people more, where everything is more digital. There in the future will be like more like touchable, like tangible money, right? They want to get rid of that. So everything is moving, and I believe in these times where there's a lot of change, right? Where there's radical changes, that's the best time for people to make money, okay? We call it wealth transfer, because there's every like, let's say 50 to 100 years, there's first of all a change in power, right? Right now, US is still in power, which is changing. And who is gonna be up in power next? Most likely, the East countries like China, all of this, right? So when these big empires changes, also monetary background changes, finances change, and I don't know what you guys believe in, but I'm like 100% sure that where we are going with the digital trend, that everything is gonna be like more like digital in terms of money, how money works, and obviously it gives the power for them to control us more. Because what is it that a society, or basically the system as we call it, or like a government wants to control its people, policies, stuff like that, right? Which is okay, that's how we live, that's our culture, how a world works, or basically a country works, and you guys are doing very, very well in Australia for that, economically wise and stuff like that, right? All right? So it's very important to understand where we're going with this, because future is gonna change drastically, and either you go with the time or you go with the time, right? You're left behind. Like you need to like be smart about what you do, right? And then there's 3 major markets that we mainly focus on that I want to give you right now, which you should focus on educating yourself in the future, because if not, you're gonna be left behind, okay? And the trends are immensely fast. And obviously you can always get a job, and very important is we are not here to bash jobs or the system, or we are not anti-system or anything, right? We are, as a community, as a TPR community, we just focus to identify what is happening in the world and how we can use the information, right, to change our situation financially. Because obviously, and I'm not saying everyone, but most people are just like unhappy in their normal, we call it 9-to-5 world, in the rat race, right? In the go to the kindergarten, behave, go to school, good grades, work for someone 45, 50 years, right? And this kind of system worked back then, maybe. And nowadays, even if you have a good job, it can work. And again, I'm not saying that everyone is unhappy that has a job. Very important. But most people are. Most people are just like, and I saw it with my own parents, I saw it with my friends, I saw how they live, right? And I was as a young man growing up in the system, especially in Germany, where you're very protected, you have very good schooling systems, education, you have good jobs, everything. I've been seeing like how it is right now if you have a job and how you can barely survive, right? With inflation, prices going up. I've been talking to our leaders here, and they've been telling me that prices have been going up for rent and stuff like that. Is that true? It's like prices increasing or decreasing in Australia? Okay, if it would be decreasing, maybe I move here. But yeah, so it's like increasing, right? And that's all over the world. It's insane. Like oil is going, everything is going up. Like how does an ordinary man or woman like nowadays with one job, you know, can survive? Like every 3rd person in Germany nowadays has a 2nd or 3rd job. A normal person, like went to school, has a normal good paying job, they cannot afford it anymore, right? I saw what happens when you have financial pressure all the time, right? I saw my mom having big problems. I saw my parents having big problems, my friends getting into the job world, right? And being addictive to substances or whatsoever to cope with this life, right? And I never wanted to be part of that. I saw that and I identified that this is a problem and I need a solution for that. And that's how we came up with this community, right? I want to go with another thing that is very important, right? And again, please don't understand this as we being anti-system or anything. We are not that, right? We just educate people to understand and see what is happening. And I think everyone over the last 3, 4, 5 years understood kind of that what they say and what they teach is not really what happens in the real world, right? Like I mean like school and all that kind of stuff, universities, okay? And again, coming from a country where like you have the top universities in Germany and stuff like that, actually for law too, where I wanted to go, it's like one of the most renomated like law universities that you can go to in Germany. I was very privileged to go there, obviously very, very blessed. I quit it after 3 months, but it's another thing. But the thing is that seeing all of this, right, I'm like, why is the system failing us so much? And why don't we get educated on these things? What should school like educate us beside basic knowledge in mathematics and so on? Maybe things that are important, which nowadays most people are not capable of anymore. Normal communication, right? You see so many people nowadays, they struggle to talk to people. Right? Normal communication, like we lost that over COVID times so much, and especially people that are like babies or like newborns that grow up in this time, like they are becoming more and more antisocial. So we have struggles with that, right? The problem with finance, which we just talked about. No school really teaches us about finance, right? Maybe you are in a degree of like, let's say economics and stuff like that. But even there, yes, you learn about the basics, but we have so many people in our community, for example, right now that come from the banking space, right? They studied finance and all that kind of stuff. And they report to us, they tell me, hey, I learned so much more about finance and how to actually really invest money and make more money with my money than in any studies I did about finance, right? Because they always teach you like enough so you don't go onto the streets, right? But they will never teach you more for you to be very free in life, right? We call it job, just over broke, okay? Job is like You just make enough money so you're not, you don't go on the streets and you fuck everything up, and you make, it's just like in the middle, right? Like, and that's like just being over broke is like, if you choose that, that's completely okay. But I think there should be ways on how to get out of that, and there are ways, right? There are many ways on how to get out of that and to live a life that is especially defined by 3 things, right? That's another thing that I want to talk about. Most people get propagated, or like this propaganda of like how a perfect life should look like is mostly propagated by like influencers in terms of, like more in the music space, more like in the fashion space, more like in the sports space, right? Like most people that we look up to and we say, I want to live like her or he, is like mostly like rappers or like people that do music and stuff like that. We think, oh, they have such a beautiful lifestyle, they are free, they travel the world, they travel the country, right? They make enough money, they take care of their parents. And what you need to understand is like there's 3 different aspects of freedom on how to really achieve true freedom, not the freedom that you think out there is the real freedom. Because most people that are free nowadays, right, financially free, they still have someone to tell them where to be and what to do, right? They cancel culture, something that's very big, right? Getting bigger and bigger every day. It's like people just getting canceled by them saying what they think about life and parties and politics, and maybe even with the vaccinations, or for example, what is happening in Israel and Palestine right now. And again, I know it doesn't affect you guys so much, but for example, there's a German national football player, and he's kind of tied to the Palestinians, and he said that there's a crime going on whatsoever. He got kicked out of the National Football League just for like representing his country, representing his kind, representing his culture, right? So especially in Europe, it's so big on where you say something and your job, your boss or the media doesn't want to hear it, they just cancel you. They take everything from you, even though you are a superstar, right? So how do we look at superstars nowadays and we believe like that's the life that we want? Actually, it's not the life. You should focus on 3 things, and that's what I found out that happens in this community and what we can help you guys with. And that is, first of all, financial freedom. But how do you define financial freedom? What would you guys say? Like, how do you like financial? Everyone talks about financial freedom. What is financial freedom? It's just having a lot of money. Okay, that's one thing, yeah. What else? What do you guys think? There's no stupid answer, so just like go with it, yeah. Okay, so time is another thing that's very important, right? What else? Okay, travel, which is geographical freedom. So you guys named already 2 of them. Is time freedom, geographical freedom, and financial freedom. But again, let's focus. What is financial freedom? It has to do with finance. We need to stay with finance. What is financial freedom? Perfect. That's another thing, right? Most people tell us we need to help our like friends and people, but most people in a normal job are not even able to take care of themselves, right? But that's a good thing, yeah. What else? Financial freedom. Perfect. Making money work for you. You guys know who Warren Buffett is? Everyone heard about him? Okay, like big investor, like has his own companies, blah, 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 right? One of the biggest investors of all time, he said something like, if you work for money, or no, he was like, if you don't make money while you sleep, you will always and forever work for money, something like that, right? What else? Financial freedom. Let's go like more into detail, and kind of funny that no one in this room really knows what financial freedom is. Where does that come from? Seems like someone missed to educate us on that, yeah? Abundance of money, like how do you mean? Like you just have enough, or like millions, or how much is enough? Okay, I like that, perfect. Oh, perfect. Someone got it. Okay, what else? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences of wealthy people, right? Like there's rich and there's wealthy. Rich is like kind of new money. Rich is like you make a lot of money, money is coming in. And wealthy is like you have a lot of assets, what you just said, right? Very good. Assets means like you, instead of just having liabilities, like wasting money, spending money on stuff, you have more money coming in, and then you obviously also can spend more, okay? Last one on financial freedom, or what financial freedom is. Got it, yeah. So you have like this, like I would say like obviously the highest expense for a normal person is housing, is like living, right? And if you have that covered, everything else is just like fine, because you always have a, perfect, yeah. Because you always have a roof, perfect. Makes sense. Okay, got it, yeah. So financial freedom is one of them, okay? I would define financial freedom, obviously everyone can have their own definition, right? Everything that I say is my opinion, right? It's like you don't have to take it, it's like me speaking to you, okay? That's very important too. But financial freedom for me is like making money, like having the skill of making money, understanding how the wealthy mindset, like financial intelligence works, but then also having a source where money comes from, and different sources that no one can take from me, and even if they would take it from me, I can rebuild it easily and fast, or just redirect it, right? Because one thing is not only making money, but it's like where does the money come from? Is it a boss or a job, a company? Like there's high paid jobs, guys. Like you can make a lot of money in corporate world, right? Let's say you say something that doesn't go with the policy of your company. you get kicked out. Now all the money that you invest into assets, not into liabilities, right? And you can build up a good portfolio. You have to understand that most self-made millionaires nowadays, especially, and most of them that I know, they made their first 50% of the million, which is $500,000, through sales, online businesses, right? And the other 50% they made through investments, trading, putting money into crypto, into assets, okay? That's how most people nowadays become self-made millionaires or even above that, okay? If you consider going that route, that's the same in the past. In the past, it was just like different investments, okay? It was more like conventional investments, maybe in real estate. There was no crypto, right? It wasn't as risky as nowadays, okay? But there's always a way to make money. You just need to identify where, right? That's one thing that we said. Now we're talking about financial freedom. What else is important? We already said it. Time freedom, right? And geographical freedom. These are the three aspects for real freedom. Because if you make money and someone tells you to shut up and takes the money from you, then you don't have the money, you're not financially free anymore, right? If you have someone to tell you where to be and what to do, you also are not geographically free, right? And also not time free, because they give you a schedule and you need to be there. Let's take a football player, right? A football player still has a plan and he has to play somewhere, right? Someone is telling him where to be. I'm choosing to be here, I don't have to, right? For example, in this business. So again, time freedom, geographical freedom, and financial freedom are the three aspects you need to look out for if you want true freedom. Now let's say this is the criteria for us to find a job nowadays, or anything. What would you do? And all three criteria need to meet. No, it's like an honest question. Like, I really want to know, because I do this everywhere and no one has an answer. What do we do? So teaching, like coaching, right? That's one thing we can do. Like a mentor, what else? Okay, let's go to this question. Which are the three major industries of the future that you should be in right now or learn about right now to not get left behind? Not the people in the community, that doesn't count. The new ones, new people. Which are like the three future areas, big areas where most of the money is going to be made? It's like virtual reality, virtual worlds. Like, let's say, for example, most of our business we built on Zoom, right? Zoom is something that really came up in COVID. We already have been using it since a long time. It's like virtual reality, virtual business, right? I could be on a Zoom here, right, on this TV and talk to you guys. There's even a camera up there, right? And I could see you. I don't need to be here. But obviously personal is always better, okay? But virtual realities and virtual worlds, yeah? Perfect. But let's go deeper, like into so everything is like easy, like it's getting way easier to control everything, right? And everything is getting digital and combined and connected. Like, for example, I give you an example, okay? Because most people, they say like that's crazy. In Dubai, for example, if I get fined, I instantly get an SMS. They like the whole new, because they built this whole government like on the blockchain, right? And digital, it's like anything happens in Dubai, you instantly get the fine on an SMS on your app, right? You have one login, which is your ID for all the governmental stuff. I can log into all the governmental websites. I pay all my bills online instantly, right? And some of you guys might say, hey, we also have that. But I swear no one has that, where it's like so combined that they know everything about you, right? So they have iris scan, for example, everywhere. Iris scan means it scans your eyes and it knows who you are everywhere where you go in Dubai, right? If you lose something in Dubai, the police can track it back 95% of the times and give it back to the person that lost it, or even something got stolen. That's why most people don't even dare to steal in Dubai. That's like a police state surveillance. And I live in there, right? And I chose to live in there because it gives great security and other benefits. But that's something where governments could become difficult, let's say it like that, right? So cryptocurrencies, positive and negative, is something that we should look into, right? Because governments want to use it and people want to use it to defend themselves, right? Because Bitcoin is, for example, the money of the people, because it's decentralized, no one governs it. And that's the most important thing, because imagine a country goes to shit. Imagine inflation continues. Imagine we have a crisis. What do the rich people do? They need to put their money somewhere. Where do they put their money? If banks are not safe anymore, if assets are crashing, if the housing market is crashing, where do rich people put their money? They have to put it somewhere, right? And there's always alternatives. One of them is Bitcoin, for example. That's also why the next Bitcoin run or the next bull run, right, by 2024, mid-2024, is gonna be a little bit different than last times. Why? Because old money is getting into the market. Bitcoin was always like for the new money, for new money people, right? Like younger people, they're like, I make a couple of grand, let's put it into crypto. I don't care if it disappears. But how do you put like millions into crypto for a person that is in the fourth, fifth generation of having money? They are not interested in crypto because for them right now it's not safe enough. But what is happening a lot in America with hedge funds and big banks, you guys know, regarding crypto? Someone is following that? and it's gonna impact Australia, for sure. It's like they are filing for ETFs. Do you guys know what an ETF is? ETF is one of the kind of newer, but also one of the most accepted investment fund types where rich people put their money in. Okay, let's leave it like that. Now imagine this comes for Bitcoin. Different money coming in, not new money anymore, like old money, like a lot of money, right? So that's, for example, a thing that you should know. You should be educated on that, because the next bull run again is going to be a little bit different than the other ones. Okay, it's like way more money in there. That's why we are preparing since years now to buy, and be in the market and understand when to go out and analyze all of that. Another example. Now let's go with the last one, areas we're going into the future. So we had virtual reality, where we put most people that understand about it, they do it. Not for the ordinary people. If you pick it in IT, then yes. So every fourth person in Germany that actually pays enough money in taxes, right, into this pot of money that then sustains other people left Germany. Why? Because of COVID, because of taxes, because of this system, how everything is going. It's becoming way more unsecure. So society is changing, especially societies that have been labeled as first world countries nowadays. Sometimes I go to third world countries and I feel like I'm in a first world country. And sometimes I travel to a first world country nowadays and I feel like in a third world country, right? It's kind of changing a little bit. Maybe you heard it in Europe. France is not as safe as it was anymore. It's crazy. Crime's going through the roof. London, crazy, right? You cannot walk with a watch anymore. Like, it's crazy. So many things are happening over there, like taxes and everything is like, they increase the taxes. They want to increase the taxes in Germany now to 58%. 58%. It's like you work half of the year just for the government. Imagine waking up and you know half of the year just waking up for the government. At the same time, retirement system is not working anymore. At the same time, there's so much crime out there that you don't want to walk outside anymore. Like, why should I pay that much taxes for a country that doesn't even keep me safe, right? Like, for what do we pay taxes? If I pay taxes, I want a country to take care of me. If I'm older, to make it safe enough, but they fail in everything, mostly. So it's insane how the world is changing, and you guys need to understand about it. You need to prepare yourselves, okay? So all three of that, I don't know what I did to God to get this weather here I don't know. Well, it's a different thing. Yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, so we talked about three future markets, okay? Cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality. Keep these three in mind. And if you're looking for jobs right now or to study anything, then research them, okay? It's gonna be insane. If you are in these industries, you're gonna be safe for the future. Good thing is we are in all three of them, right? Another thing we talked about, and again, very important, it's not me being against the system or anything, it's just me waking you up a little bit, right? Because we are all in this rat race, we are all like in our normal daily life, right? Where it's about paying bills and getting educated and the hustle and everything. But open your mind a little bit, understanding that there are solutions out there. And again, it's not you guys going against the system or anything, but you guys identifying what is happening and positioning yourself. Why? Because obviously we all want a good life. We want freedom of speech, right? These are all things that I think are very, very important. You being capable as a man or a woman to take care of your family, right? Nowadays, a man that works a normal job cannot even take care of his family anymore. You have to ask yourself the question, why? Why back then women didn't need to work? Nowadays they have to work. It's like two people that now pay taxes instead of one person. So the whole system, everything that's happening, if you just like research it a little bit and you ask yourself the questions, why are things happening? Because they increase the taxes, why? All of this kind of stuff, okay? Follow me, I know I have very weird thoughts and I open a lot of stuff. But yeah, I educate myself around that stuff all the time. And I just wanted to leave a little bit of a, question mark in your mind about, shit, I should really like maybe consider thinking about these things, because